Big news coming in from the cricket world. Relief for Bangladesh after opting out from the 2020 World Cup. The ICC says that there will be no penalty or sanctions on the Bangladesh Cricket Board. It further says that it is agreed that there will be no financial, sporting or administrative penalty that will be imposed on Bangladesh Cricket Board in retaliation to the current matter. Why exactly is that? We'll tell you about that in just a bit. But what more does that ICC statement really says? It says that as part of this understanding, an agreement has been reached that Bangladesh will host an ICC event prior to the Men's Cricket World Cup in the year 2031. But that is subject to the usual ICC hosting processes, timelines and operational requirements. Why exactly have the BCB managed to get that sort of a deal for themselves, that event? That is something we'll get into the details of in just a bit. But remember, they had lost out on a tournament last year after there were some sort of turbulences that we had seen. Nikhil Nas joining me for more on this. Nikhil, it comes immediately after the meeting that we saw take place in Lahore, and certainly Bangladesh Cricket Board were not there just to convince Pakistan for the 15th of February match, but clearly there was something of their own interest that they were looking at as well.
Well, yes, this is a release. I'd like to firstly set the record straight. We still haven't heard from Pakistan yet whether they are playing the India match or not. But I think, it does seem like everything is hinting towards that on the 15th of February, you're going to have India versus Pakistan. I'm just going to put things into perspective in the chronological order that it took place. Firstly, we kept reporting about negotiations that were on between ICC. You saw a delegation of the ICC travel to Pakistan. Soon after that, there were reports as to what the discussion was around. And if you were to believe news coming out of Pakistan, they said the discussion centered around interest of Bangladesh. It had nothing much to do with Pakistan. At the moment, on the face of it, it does seem to be true that everything that concerned Bangladesh was put on table when you had the Bangladesh Cricket Board president, the Pakistan Cricket Board president, and the ICC delegation sit on the table. I think the first indication you got, the biggest hint that you got that Pakistan had taken a U-turn, that they were ready to play the India game, was just about an hour and a half back when you heard from the PCB chairman Mohsin Naqvi when he was speaking at the PSL auctions, where he said that ICC delegations were like a guest, and when guests come, that then you let bygones be bygones and you try to forget what happened in the past. I think that was the first indication that told you India-Pakistan game will happen come the 15th of February. Now comes this particular press release from the ICC. It does not mention the India-Pakistan encounter. It just mentions things that may have been discussed when the three parties, ICC, BCB, as well as PCB, sat together. I'm just going to sum up that long, lengthy release that has come, which effectively says that all three parties sat and they had an understanding. They heard each other's opinions and each other's side, and then listening to each of the parties, the conclusion was made that Bangladesh continues to remain an integral part of the ICC. Not only were they an integral part, they will continue to be that, and the ICC will do everything possible to ensure that Bangladesh continue to be an integral part. So now, what are those things that the ICC have guaranteed Bangladesh in the meeting? Three quick pointers I'm going to tell you, which just sums up the entire discussion that took place, which went on for 5 hours. Firstly, ICC has given it in writing. There will be no penalty or sanctions on the Bangladesh Cricket Board. Remember, the Bangladesh Cricket Board pulled out of the tournament at the 11th hour because they did not want to play in India after one of their players was removed from the IPL. And, it was being speculated that because they pulled up at the 11th hour, there'll be some financial sanctions on Bangladesh. But ICC has now has given it in writing. There will be no sanctions or penalties on Bangladesh Cricket Board. That's the first assurance that the ICC has given. The second assurance that the ICC has given, that the Bangladesh Cricket Board can approach the Dispute Resolution Committee, which is also known as DRC of the ICC. If you remember earlier, when Bangladesh had tried to explore this option, they were made aware of the fact that the Dispute Resolution Committee cannot in any way overruled a decision taken by the ICC board. Now, Bangladesh not playing in this tournament was a decision taken by the ICC board. So they were made aware that the dispute resolution committee cannot overrule it. So Bangladesh did not have that option. Now that option has been opened for Bangladesh, saying you can approach the dispute resolution committee, and then of course they will hear the matter whether the ICC board has done anything outside their purview in removing Bangladesh. So they have a recourse now. Bangladesh, that's the second thing that you've given Bangladesh. Third thing that the ICC has offered Bangladesh, or has given it in writing, and that's a special what can I say, goodie that has been offered to Bangladesh, where they have said that Bangladesh will be given to host an ICC event between 2028 and 2031 ahead of the 2031 World Cup. Again, just a reminder, Bangladesh were co-host with India for the 2031 50-over World Cup. The next 50-over World Cup is 2027 in South Africa. After that, 2031, co-hosts are India and Bangladesh. ICC has given them an extra tournament. Of course, they will get the 2031 co-hosting of the 50-over World Cup, Bangladesh, that they've maintained, but they will give them one more tournament, and that tournament will take place anytime between 2028 to 2031. I think the reason they've given this tournament is to compensate for the losses that Bangladesh may have to face because they've missed out on this particular T20 World Cup. So all these things put together gives you 3 quick points and tells you clearly what might happen basis the release that has come from Pakistan Cricket Board. Firstly, that we are very close to the first conclusion that we can make is that we are very close to Pakistan announcing that they will be making a U-turn. They will be, going back from the stance of not playing India. They will now play on the 15th. That is something that you can expect. It's just a matter of time that will come. Secondly, it does seem like that most things that were discussed on the table between ICC, PCB, BCB seem to be revolving around Bangladesh. So in that sense, PCB were right when they were saying that we're looking at all the interests for Bangladesh and we are standing by them. So that's the second thing that you can conclude from this release that has come from the ICC. And thirdly, they've done everything possible to make Bangladesh feel part of the cricketing ecosystem, not feel ostracized. And that may have, resonated with both the Pakistan Cricket Board as well as the Bangladesh Cricket Board. No wonder just before you had the ICC release, you also had a release from the Bangladesh Cricket Board where they've said in as many words that they are satisfied with the steps that ICC has taken to address their concerns. They're satisfied with what ICC is doing after they have been robbed of an opportunity of playing the T20 World Cup. And so thereby, they request Pakistan to reconsider a decision of not playing India, because remember, Pakistan were not playing India because they said injustice was done to Bangladesh. But now that Bangladesh Cricket Board is satisfied, they're requesting Pakistan to go back on their stance and now engage with India and play with India come the 15th of February.
While we only have that massive hint from Mohsin Naqvi, Nikhil, that you were pointing about, one cannot forget the fact that there was the word bonhomie used as well, brotherhood, if memory serves me right, in that press release from the Bangladesh Cricket Board, which was released just moments before this ICC press release came out. And it also further said that that Mr. Bulbul, the BCB chief, had expressly told Pakistan Cricket Board Chief Mohsin Naqvi to consider playing the match, to go forward with the match slated on the 15th. And now that we're picking up, that match is going through. How much of a role could the Bangladesh Cricket Board have really played over here?
Oh, I mean, they've played all the role. Just as we were discussing, everything, all the conclusions that you make at the moment, based on what the ICC has said in its press release and based on the press release issued by the Bangladesh Cricket Board, it's pretty evident that, the matter at hand remained Bangladesh cricket and not so much India-Pakistan cricket. And that is in line with what Pakistan had said to begin with. If you remember, the first ever statement that came out when Pakistan said that they are contemplating whether they should play India or not, the first statement that came out from Pakistan was courtesy Mohsin Naqvi, and he addressed a press conference and said that, we were the only one who stood by Bangladesh. We believe that what is being done to Bangladesh is unfair. if a hybrid model could be given to India, could be given to us in Pakistan, then why couldn't Bangladesh have been extended the same courtesy? But now that ICC is not doing it, we're going to stand by Bangladesh and then boycott the India match. That was that. And then, as you know, it was a scenario which was it was going to be detrimental to all parties involved, including Bangladesh Cricket Board, including the Pakistan Cricket Board. I mean, of course, by extension, the ICC as well as the BCCI. So no party was to gain from a decision like that. So
is this,
I think
Nikhil, then
that is why the ICC was pretty adamant that you continue the talk, that you continue having conversations. And I would have to say that it's not just the ICC that's extended that hand. ICC may have traveled to Pakistan, but of course, Pakistan themselves wanted a resolution to this. Must also tell you the role that Bangladesh Cricket Board played. If you remember, when they were ousted from the World Cup, they took the decision in their stride. They said, so be it. They will, of course, continue to challenge that decision. But for now, they respect the decision taken by the ICC. And so now when everything has been addressed and the core issue at hand is Bangladesh cricket, if that's been addressed, if the aggrieved party is okay, then why should the other parties that are backing them should have any issues?
Is this then very interesting? You point things out over here, Nikhil, especially the chronology in which things move. Is this goodie then, as you called it, for Bangladesh cricket, and the fact that they may be happy with whatever they've gotten out of this meeting and this whole saga that has played out? Can this tournament, or the goodie that's been given to Bangladesh cricket, is this whole act an admission of guilt then from the ICC if they're trying to make it up to Bangladesh cricket, and Bangladesh cricket said that you're not giving us the hybrid model just as you gave to Pakistan, just as you gave to India for the Champions Trophy, then is this whole act of giving a tournament prior to the 2031 World Cup in some ways a making up act from the ICC?
100%. I will not say it's an admission of guilt, but as you said, is it an act of making up by the ICC? It certainly is. You can call it a goodie, you can call it a freebie, whatever you like. But the fact of the matter is that at one point, the ICC had said that, even approaching the dispute resolution committee is not something that the Bangladesh Cricket Board can do. You remember that stance that we had heard, and there were also talks of maybe sanctions on Bangladesh. That was also being discussed at that moment. Now, for an ICC to make it very clear that there'll be no sanctions, for them to make it very clear that you can, approach the dispute resolution committee, for them to now offer them an extra tournament over and above the 2031 World Cup that they have as a freebie. I mean, these things clearly point at the fact that there is a bit of a softening of stance or a step, that they've taken back, the ICC. But I'd also like to say that the situation was such that if you wanted a resolution, which I think, was the genuine interest of the ICC, if you wanted to extend a hand of friendship, or you wanted the other party to extend a hand of friendship, or at least, take two steps back, you had to take a step forward as well. So I think for that to happen, all parties would have to do. Now, I mean, you got to look at Bangladesh as well. I think, maybe they could have bargained for a little more. Maybe they could have still been upset saying, no, you ousted us out of a T20 World Cup, we won't play. They've also been okay. So which means they've also taken a couple of steps forward towards the ICC and warmed up and also written to PCB, please, now play the India match. So they've taken a couple of steps. If ICC has taken one step, Bangladesh Cricket Board has taken two steps. Let's take a look at Pakistan's case. Will there not be criticism that will come Pakistan's way as soon as they announce that they're playing the India match? Because many in Pakistan believe that this is the strong stance that was needed, and Pakistan has shown it to the world that come hell or high water, they're not going to back down. They will not play the India game, but they will be taking, a couple of steps forward towards the ICC as well. Agreed that, some of the issues that they had have been addressed in terms of how Bangladesh was treated, but they're also taking a couple of steps forward. So I think if you take a look at it from ICC's point of view, ICC is not an individual country. What is ICC? It's a collection of all these cricket boards put together. Why would it want to, shoot itself in the foot? They would want all these countries to be on the same page, to be, cooperative with each other, and to ensure that all tournaments go ahead. I mean, just like any other governing body, there will be issues with X party, Y party, Z party. And I think the governing body's responsibility is to get everyone on the same page. And if you can make a few minor tweaks here and there, which allow every party to then shake hands, then that is exactly the job of the ICC, and you must compliment them because this was going to be a big crisis. Let's not forget, Harshit. It wasn't too long ago we were discussing that this could be a deflecting point. This could be a point which could actually cause a split in international cricket. From there, if ICC have found a way to ensure all the aggrieved parties are okay, they've shaken hands, and the tournament is going ahead, minus Bangladesh, of course, but even they are now okay with the decision taken by the ICC and everything else can go ahead, then that is exactly what ICC would want, and that is what they've been able to achieve.
All of this, Nikhil, thank you so much, Raj, firstly, for breaking things down beautifully for us. And yeah, there was a long explanation from you there, but we needed really that because so much really has happened in this whole saga. But that final chapter, we're still awaiting for that. We thought today would be that night where we'll get that clarity. Can one say it's long hours now, and it's surprising that the ICC is still acting on this hour. We usually aren't used to seeing the ICC send us releases on a Sunday or at this hour on a weekday as well. But now that it's been put into action, that one press release that we're still awaiting, will this now be coming from the ICC, or will perhaps now again have to look at tomorrow morning and today's work is just about done?
Harshit, I think the next press release won't be coming from the ICC. I think the next press release that you will get is going to be from the Pakistan Cricket Board. Let's not forget, there were three parties here: the Pakistan Cricket Board, the Bangladesh Cricket Board, as well as the International Cricket Council. You've heard from the Bangladesh Cricket Board, you've heard from the International Cricket Council. The final word will come out of Pakistan, and it is now for them to announce that they are okay to play. We've heard from Mohsin Naqvi a couple of hours ago at the PSL auction, and he said that, as I mentioned earlier, he's given a clear hint that they will now be playing because he said, when a guest comes, then you let bygones be bygones. That's a clear hint there that they will be playing. But he also went on to add that we will announce it in the next 24 to 48 hours. So if I could hazard a guess, I think it will be either it most likely should be tomorrow that you get to hear from the Pakistan Cricket Board, and quite likely that press release is going to say that after the considerations that ICC have made for Bangladesh Cricket Board, the fact that Bangladesh Cricket Board, the one that we were supporting, is happy with everything that the ICC has offered them. So we take our objection back, we take our protest back, and we will play the game versus India come the 15th. I think that's the press release you're going to get from Pakistan. Maybe not tonight. I think tomorrow would be the day.
Thank you so much, Nikhil, for breaking things down for us. And as you said, we are all now wait for that official release to come, perhaps now from the Pakistan side, because they were the ones who, remember, had announced first that they won't be taking part in the match versus India. Now, what's happened in this whole saga is that there were a set of demands that were put forth as well by Pakistan cricket, and in that 5-hour marathon negotiation that you saw take place in Lahore, some of those rejects came in as far as those demands are concerned. The rejections, we'll be telling you about that as we go along. Now, the PCB had proposed an India-Pakistan bilateral series, which, remember, hasn't happened since more than a decade now, but the ICC said that, listen, this is not our domain. You need to take a conversation forward with this, with the BCCI, not us. The PCB had also proposed a tri-series with Bangladesh and India, to which again the response was much the same as far as the ICC is concerned. The BCB also went ahead and proposed an India tour of Bangladesh, on which Bangladesh, remember, had already said that come the month of August, Australia are going to be touring, India also will be touring, but the BCCI is yet to officially state anything in that regard. The ICC also disposed that particular directive and said that there is something that the BCCI will have to take a look in, and it won't be us.